That's great. You're trusting God. Can God trust you?
God wants to do it in you. You're not too old. You're not too young.
You understand the power and authority that you have at your fingertips?
He will not leave or forsake you. Like that's His word. It's His promise.
You're going to be burned. You're going to be carrying the fire, and it will repel every attack of the enemy.
Hey, good morning. I am Noemi, and I get to be with you today, and I'm really excited. Let me know if you're watching, share the broadcast, and we're gonna have a great morning. It's gonna be a fantastic day. I am so excited because I'm so in love with Jesus, and I wanna pass that on to you and remind you of how good He is. Good morning, you guys. Let us know that you're watching. I'm going to do what I just asked you to do because I kind of forgot. But yeah, go ahead and share the broadcast. Let's all just do it together. And we're going to have a great day today. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope that you are doing well, whether you are at home in quarantine mode or if you're one of the essential workers who are out. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for being here. And we are excited for what God has in store for us today. So I'm going to share this, and you do the same, and let's see who's watching. Maybe, okay. I don't have a title yet, but I'll have one by the end of the broadcast. How are you holding up? That's what I want to know. How are you holding up in these days? Talk to me. Let me know. What have you been up to? How are your days looking like? Mine hasn't really changed much. I have been working. So, we've been doing stuff. So I honestly haven't quite felt it, except the fact that my kids are home all day. And, just, I think yesterday I got home and Micah was in his pajamas. And I'm like, are you still in your pajamas? He's like, yeah. So we're trying to work on, getting a somewhat of a get dressed routine for them. But, it's basically been the longest spring break ever. I think I might still be in spring break. I think my kids for sure are. I forgot to actually share it. I was actually doing the title on our page, so I'm sharing it while I'm talking to you, and I'm also letting you know that I'm just wanting to know. I want to hear from you. I miss you guys so much. It's weird having church and not seeing all the usual faces, because I miss you guys. So anyway, I just want to give you an opportunity to talk to me. Yes, would you mind zooming that in for me at just a smidge? All right. Okay, now I have officially shared it. So, hey. That's maybe too big. You can bring that down. Yeah, there you go. Yes, my husband is home all day. Hey, love, how are you? Hi, Lydia. It's been a long, long time. Thanks for joining me. Let me know that you're here. Also, if you don't mind sharing this broadcast, I'm gonna get a little personal today, because I think that's where we all are. You guys have been. Good morning, Carrie and Susan. Hi. I was thinking about this, and we have, all of us have been, I can imagine, I am an introvert, so I enjoy, being, but I'm an introvert, and so being around people all the time, hey, Katie, it can kind of, our circumstances have changed, basically. And so I imagine that, besides anxiety and worry and stress and how are we going to do this and how, and we're trying to encourage you guys, hang on, let peace reign in your hearts. Don't give in to fear. Don't, and all this stuff. And so I think I shared a meme with a friend of mine that was like, okay, I'm just trying to, keep my kids, teaching them, we've all become teachers. Those of you who have children at home, schools shut down. So we're trying to make sure that their grades are still decent, or they're still, learning. And we haven't been in school in like 20 years. And, and we're trying to make sure everyone's well fed. Brenda mentioned that we're doing a lot of cooking. Oh my gosh. The other day, I felt like I was near tears. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this again? I just fed you yesterday. Only because I don't cook a lot at home. I do cook, but my life is somewhat busy. But the restaurants are closed. So, they have forced my hand. And so I had to pull out my old stuff that I used to cook up and trying new things and going, all right, well, this is all they had at the grocery store. Let's see what we can make. And we're all trying to do the best that we can do. And I imagine that, what's the word I want to use? I imagine that our, stress levels have heightened a little bit. Is it just me? Come on, don't leave me hanging. And I just wanted to talk about just remembering to love while you're in quarantine, remembering to let Jesus reign in your hearts, let his love. This got to me the other day, and so I had to get into the quiet place with him. And I did that, and he is so loving and kind and gentle, and he wasn't upset with me that I got upset. Instead, he just led me through it and was so kind. And I just wanted to share that with you and, encourage you and remind all of us. I'm not rebuking anyone. If I am, it's in love. I am right there with you. I feel like I needed to be gently rebuked as well. So I just want to remind all of us that we need to keep our love on. And we're going to have a great day. The Lord is so good. He's still on his throne. He's still worthy for us to live a life worthy of him. And so even in the situations that we're in, even everything that you're reading on the news, what's true, what's not true, who's controlling the narrative, all this stuff, everything, it's insane. There's so many things. But in the end, we have to remember and we have to go back to, okay, I'm going to let love reign in how I treat my spouse, in how I treat my children, in how I treat people around me. Love has to win. Love has to. It has to. So we're going to go there. Again, I'm just sharing with you what the Lord has shared with me. So, hey, thank you again for joining me. And it's going to be a great day. So click that share button and pray with me as we get started and dive into his word, because it's so wonderful. Lord, Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for your goodness. I thank you for your love. I thank you that you have not given up on us in these times, and that you are still rooting for us, and you are still cheering us on that we can do this. And Lord, I thank you for your word. I thank you for your word that gives us understanding and revelation, and it speaks so deeply to our hearts. Lord, today let our ears be open to hear what you're saying. Let our hearts be willing to receive what you're saying. And let our lives be changed by your love, by your word. And we just thank you for this day. We thank you for everyone who is watching. Bless you in Jesus' mighty name. All right, hit that share button. Let's get us over 50 today. Why not? Let's do it. Today's a good day. Hey, it's, I was going to say, it's a good day. You know why it's a good day? Can I just say this? It's a good day, and I'm wearing this motorcycle jacket in honor of the fact that my bike is finally ready. Yay, I have a motorcycle, and it has been in the shop. It is good to go, and so this weather is just calling my name. So it's going to be a great day today, and this weekend is going to be beautiful. So let's open our Bibles to, I want to start in 1 John, and I'm going to be reading from both the New King James and the Passion. And it's good to just get yourself full of the Word of God. Just in any version that you love, that the Lord speaks to you in. But I'm going to read in 1 John. The Lord led me to this book the other day, and I read the entire thing, read all of it in one sitting, and then just let Him speak to you. It's so good. 1 John, it's all about love and abiding in God and Him and us, and it's so practical too. So we're going to start in 1 John chapter 3. I'm trying to remember. I might actually start in the Passion, Joe. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm gathering my thoughts here. In 1 John chapter 3, which I think is cool because it's chapter 3, verse 16. We all know the Gospel of John 3:16, for God so loved the world. This also talks about how much He loved the world. So you can, when you memorize, you can, David teaches us, you can add, put those together, pair those up. In 1 John chapter 3, verse 16, in the Passion Translation, it says, "This is how we have discovered love's reality. Jesus sacrificed His life for us. Because of this great love, we should be willing to lay down our lives for one another." This is a scripture that doesn't mean that you should become a doormat for people, but it should mean that you're willing to love them in such a way that sometimes it might put you out. The following verse says, "If anyone sees a fellow believer in need and has the means to help him, yet shows no pity and closes his heart against him, how is it even possible that God's love lives in him?" The other day I was thinking about choosing love over the way that I was feeling, over just circumstances. I want to be known for love. I want to be known for, not for, some of the things that people have said about me. I don't want to be known for that. I want to be known that I loved the people around me well. And if I were to see someone in need, and I have a way to help them out, I want to do that, because I want God's love to live in me. There's a script. Let me find this real quick. The Lord just wrecked me on 1 John chapter 2. Just read the entire. I'm telling you, just read the entire book of 1 John. It is well worth it. But in 1 John chapter 2, I was reading in the New King James. Can I just say, I got a new Bible, and this thing is gorgeous. Oh my God. It's, you guys know my obsession with Bibles, right? And I just added a new one to the collection. But this is goat skin, leather bound, and it is like the best thing ever. Holy moly. And it's just really easy to read. Anyway, So I was just breaking in my new Bible, and the Lord led me to 1 John. And so as I was reading through this, 1 John chapter 2, verse, let's start in verse 3, and then we'll go through verse 6. It says, now by this we know that we know, let me read that again, because that's a lot of we knows. Now by this we know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He who says, I know him, and does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Those are some harsh words, man. But whoever keeps his word, truly the love of God is perfected in him. By this we know that we are in him. Verse 6, he who says he abides in him ought himself also to walk just as he walked. This verse right here has just wrecked me in such a way that I have personalized it and put it in my spirit, written it down on a couple of places to remind myself, and I made it personal because I want this to speak of me. She who says she abides in God ought herself also to walk just as he walked. I have decided to take God at his word. I have decided that when Jesus says the things that I do, you will do it also. In John chapter 14, verses 12 through 14, he tells us, let's go there. John chapter 14. Hey, look, I just flipped there. This Bible, just like, we're already getting so close. It's so great. John chapter 14, I have highlighted this. I have preached it to our youth. I have taught it here, that the words that Jesus said, the things that he taught us, the things that he has said that we could do, I have like grabbed onto that literally. It is mine. If he said that I could do it, then I know that I can. And in, I'm going to read it in the Passion on this one. It says, John 14, I tell you this timeless truth, starting in verse 12, the person who follows me in faith, believing in me, will do the same mighty miracles that I do, even greater miracles. I love that. This is the thought of, let me keep reading. Even greater miracles than these, because I go to be with my Father. Okay, so let's just stop there. The person who follows me in faith, believing in me, will do the same mighty miracles that I do. I remember preaching this one time to our youth, and I did a whole series called Greater Things with them. I think I've shared that with you here before. But here's the thing: is I am literally believing with every fiber of my being this verse right here. He says, the person who follows me, believing in me, I believe in him, and I believe. So we went through this whole study of all the miracles that Jesus did. And I was thinking about this driving down the road the other day, and I was, it's so like, it's so much a part of what I want to live and how I want to live my life, that I think about all the things that Jesus did, the miracles, the healings that took place, the people that he touched. The whole thing about this coronavirus that makes me so upset is that Jesus, it literally has turned our entire country, our entire world into outcasts, lepers, that you can't touch each other. I'm not a toucher feeler person, and I literally want to hug everybody I come into contact with right now. Like, I'm like, hey, because it's something that Jesus would do. Jesus would not put a mask on and put gloves on and then pray for a leper. He actually went and touched him. He actually went into like that place where people were crying out unclean, and he was like showing so much love to them. And that's what I want. I want to be the person that goes out and says, no, I'm not scared of a virus, because Jesus has already conquered the sickness. He already took that on the cross 2,000 years ago. We literally just celebrated what he did. The victory that he had was our victory. It still applies today. I'm telling you, and that's the part that upsets me the most, is that we forget who we are. We have forgotten. Sorry, I might make some people mad today, but there comes a point where you either believe the word of God or you don't. And I believe that the things that Jesus did, that he said that I would do. So if he went out and touched people who were called outcasts, then I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to watch them get healed. And I'm going to watch them, be restored. I want to see blind eyes open. We're going to see deaf ears open. We're going to see food multiplied. This is the time that we're going to see food multiplied because, people are like, going crazy, stocking up on toilet paper, for crying out loud. My toilet paper will not run out. I'm telling you, these are the days that we're living in, that we get to see the signs, miracles, and wonders that Jesus did, that the prophets of old saw. But we're going to see greater miracles than that. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a time. Isaiah 60 verse 1 is my verse that I love. And I want to release that over you today, that it says, arise, shine, for your light has come. For the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. And it goes on to say, can we go there? Isaiah chapter 60, reading in the New King James. Isaiah chapter 60. I feel so impassioned by this right now because this is the time that we get to rise up. This is the time. This is your time to rise up and shine because let's read this. Let's read this here. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. Okay? He's talking about you. Take this for yourself. This is your verse for this moment in time. Verse 2 says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and deep darkness the people, but the Lord will arise over you, and his glory will be seen upon you. Okay, the darkness shall cover the earth. If that doesn't speak of today, I don't know what does. Deep darkness to people. People are so scared out of their ever-loving mind. They're walking around covering their faces because they're so afraid. But the Lord has risen upon you, and the glory of the Lord will be seen upon you. Why? Because you're going to take a stand. Now's the time to shine. Now's the time to speak up. Now's the time to go lay hands on the sick. Now's the time to heal those around you, to speak life into those situations, to declare that my pantry will not run dry, to declare that the sickness, the plague shall not come near my dwelling. This is the time. This is the hour. And it is so exciting to see this because the Lord will make a distinction between his people. And I believe that with my whole heart, that the Lord is making a distinction right now. There is a line that is being drawn. And he is saying, okay, it's time to rise up. It's time to shine your light. It's time to declare the goodness of the Lord. It is time to see him move. It is time to do the greater miracles. It's time to do the things that I did. And it's not even that. It's not even just about that. Okay, I'm kind of like making a giant circle here because we have such a strong, bold faith. We literally declare and believe great things, and that God is going to use us and move in us. And we are going to see the greater miracles. We're going to walk this out. But more than this, as much as I believe this, as much as I declare and receive this for me and my family, the one thing that the Lord keeps putting back to me is 1 John chapter 2, verse 6. And it says, he who says he abides in me ought himself also to walk just as he walked. That is such a weird phrasing. I'm going to look it up in the Passion real quick. But basically, Naomi's version of this is, if you say that you live in God and God lives in you, okay, we've literally been teaching this all the live long day. Colossians 1:27, the great mystery is Christ in me, the hope of glory. And then you pair it up with Isaiah 60 verse 2 says, his glory will be seen upon you. If you say, let's go back, okay? We are declaring and believing yes, I'm going to live this way. This is who we are. This is how I'm living. Then we go back to 1 John chapter 2, verse 6. And it says in the Passion Translation, we can be sure that we've truly come to live in intimacy with God, not just by saying, I am intimate with God, but by walking in the footsteps of Jesus. We have to love the way he loved. When he went to the leper, he didn't go in fear, but he went in love. I just imagine his eyes bright, his smile going, yes, I will do this thing. I will touch you. When he opened blind eyes, the first face they saw was his. And I imagine this love and joy on his face, the beauty of his face, and the love that was poured out. I can imagine, because I felt that. I have felt his love. I have seen his face. I have come face to face with him. And I know that he wants us to express that to everyone that we encounter, even now. We have to be a people that is not just strong and bold in our faith, but is strong in our love. That we need to be expressing his love as we are healing the sick and casting out demons and, breaking bread and multiplying food and believing that our oil will not run dry. Like, we need to have that love in us, and doing this and saying, putting it in more practical terms in where we are right now, that I know that the frustration of when you go to the grocery store and they're out of your favorite brand of whatever, fill in the blank, and you get frustrated and you're like, that's the only thing I want. Like, do you know how many times I've almost burst into tears because H-E-B we go to the grocery store too late in the day. And so H-E-B has the best fresh bread, and it's my favorite. And a couple of times in the last 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, my husband texts me and goes, they don't have any fresh bread. And I'm like, no, come on, it's the only thing I want right now. Those moments. And I'm telling you, these are the things that we have to remember to remind, even though I'm mad that there's no bread, I'm gonna have to learn how to make my own bread, obviously, but in my spare time. But when you find out they don't have the thing that you want, or your restaurants are closed, and we were talking about that with friends yesterday. I just want to sit down and eat and make a mess and walk away and let somebody else clean up. The things aren't the same anymore. And I know it's those little things, the little foxes that can come and just ruin, it can just, ruin these moments. I'm trying to cook for my family, and I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be so great. And then there's no bread, and I'm like, oh, it just ruins. But I have to remember, that's not my family's fault. So I don't take it out on my family that there's no bread at H-E-B. They're doing their best. And the H-E-B employees are doing their best. And the people, everybody is, we're all, everything has changed for all of us. And so this is the time where we absolutely need to have our love on. And if that means that you need to take a moment, and I've had to do this. Yes, absolutely, Michael Dean, first world problems, it's ridiculous. And, but this is where we are. This is literally, people are losing their minds because they can't have the things that they've grown accustomed to having. But we can't let that ruin our day. We can't let it ruin our relationships with the people around us. And a lot of times that happens. And so what I'm wanting to remind us all is that we need, if we say in 1 John chapter 2, verse 6, if we truly abide with God, living in intimacy with him, if we truly have joined ourselves with him, in John chapter 15, he talks about being the vine and we are the branches, and he says, abide in me and I in you. If we are absolutely doing that, then we need to be walking like he walked. We need to be loving like he loved. We need to be talking the way he talked. We need to be doing the things that he did and letting love reign supreme in all of that. Let's go here. Are you following? Judy, I'm just going to catch up on some comments. Judy, that would be like the best thing ever. Thank you. That would be awesome. We have to not just talk the talk of, yeah, I love Jesus. Yeah, we're best buds. Yeah, we actually have to walk it out and do that, daily. And I was going to say this. Sometimes you need to take a moment to breathe, to assess the situation and go, okay, it's just bread. It's not the end of the world. Or is it? I'm kidding. That was just a really funny moment. We are definitely in the last days, that's for sure. But you have to take a step back. And if that means, staying in your car a little bit longer to just listen to a worship song to get your heart right with God again, if it means going and hiding in a place where you can just read your favorite portion of scripture, the one that brings, literally always breathes life back into you, then do that. If it means that you need to just sit and take a moment with your family and just pray, take communion, realign your hearts with God, then go ahead and do that. This is a time, we are living in the greatest moment in history right now. It is exciting to be able to be in this moment. And I think of, the stories that we've read, the moments that we have, the stories that we have read about, I think of Queen Esther, and in that moment, for such a time as this, she stepped out and did something that no other queen, she was risking death. If I perish, I perish, Moses, just think of all the greats, even in recent history, reading stories about the victories that we have won over the years and the great moments in time, and now we're in one. We're literally living in one. And I think that oh my God, this is it. And how are we going to handle this? How are we going to, you and I, how are we going to shine? How are we going to display the glory of the Lord? Because it is risen upon us, and the glory of the Lord will be seen on us. And what does that look like? And I keep thinking about, it's time to walk on the water. Jesus walked on water. And whenever I think about the miracles that Jesus did, I always think about that one. And I've always, and I've been thinking about that a lot more lately, I think, because I think the Lord is asking us to step out and do the things that we've only ever dreamt of. And it might be scary, but if you keep your eyes on him, he'll hold you up, and you will see mighty, mighty things come to pass. I want to share a couple more scriptures with you. Thanks for sticking with me. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, hit that share button, invite them to join, and because we still got a few more minutes left, so it's not too late. Let's go to I'm trying to decide where I want to go next. Let's go to Colossians chapter 3, one of my favorites. I love the entire Bible, but there's definitely some of my favorite chapters for sure. Colossians chapter 3 is probably one of my favorites. I have it highlighted, circled, underlined, starred, and hearted. See? Colossians chapter 3, I'm going to read it in the Passion on this one. In Colossians chapter 3, it's a great reminder, starting in verse 12. The subtitle for this one is called Love One Another. Beautiful. It says, you are always and dearly loved by God. Okay, let's just stop right. You are always and dearly loved by God. There's never a time or a moment in your life that he has ever stopped loving you. He loves you with a great, 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 mighty love. So because of this, he goes on to say, so robe yourself with virtues of God, since you have been divinely chosen to be holy. Be merciful as you endeavor to understand others, and be compassionate, showing kindness toward all. Be gentle and humble, unoffendable in your patience with others. Tolerate the weaknesses of those in the family of faith, forgiving one another in the same way you have been graciously forgiven by Jesus Christ. If you find fault with someone, release this same gift of forgiveness to them. Verse 14 says, for love is supreme and must flow through each of these virtues. Love becomes the mark of true maturity. This is it. He literally, like, I love this verse because it speaks so personally to me, because there are some times where I absolutely have to be so merciful as I'm trying to understand people. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you think that way? No. Don't be mean. Don't make them sound like they're stupid. Don't, be condescending or, but instead be merciful, okay? And patient. Be compassionate, even if it goes against every fiber of your being. Try it. Take a breath and go, okay, Lord, let me see how you love us, how you love me. Good Lord. Can you imagine the many times that that Jesus face palms, like, you guys, seriously. Because how many times do we want to do that to people? Jesus doesn't do that to us. He instead gives us a gentle nudge in love, and he's so good. We need to show kindness to everyone that we encounter. We need to be gentle and humble. We need to be unoffendable. Unoffendable. Oh, I want to be unoffendable. Don't you? I absolutely want to be. I want people to be able to say something and me not take it and twist it and turn it around and go, what do you mean by that? Why would you say something like that? That's so cruel. Instead, giving people the benefit of the doubt, and and if they are being cruel, then that's on them. It's not you. Okay, so that just shows their character and not you. So being unoffendable, yes, we want that. I like how it says in verse 13, tolerate the weaknesses tolerate the weaknesses of those in the family of faith. Okay, we're all on different, I want to say, I guess, maturity levels, and I think that we need to remember that, hey, like, we're all in this together, and we're for each other, and we're a family, and I'm on your side, and I pray that you're on my side, and that we're building each other up, and that we're loving each other, and we're going to help each other grow. And I think that that's exactly what we need to do. So forgiving, not holding a grudge, but literally releasing people. I think that's so important that we have to remember to do that. We have to not hold it against them for forever, because it's not doing them any harm. It's only hurting you. So forgiving them and moving on, and just, okay, you know, and if it ever comes back, that feeling, that hurt, take a moment. Do you know how many times I have to go, okay, Lord, I forgive them all the time, you know, and just let his love reign in your heart. Love, in verse 14, it says, love is supreme and must flow through each of these virtues, because love becomes the mark of true maturity. If you love is going to be the one. Like, that's how people will know. That's where the line is. And I want to read from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Yes, it is a love chapter, but it reminds us that this is what we need. This is the greatest thing, okay, is love. So I'm going to read this out of the Passion Translation. You can follow along in whatever version you're reading, but definitely take some time today to read 1 John and then read 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And just, even if you just read it and just sit in it, you know, and just let him teach you something new, show you something new. It's amazing how many times I've read one scripture over and over again, and how many revelations I've gotten out of one. Like, oh my gosh, that's come to light to me so many times. I'm going to read it, and out of the Passion, verse 1, if I were to speak with eloquence in earth's many languages and in the heavenly tongues of angels, yet I didn't express myself with love, my words would be reduced to the hollow sound of nothing more than a clanging cymbal. If I were to have the gift of prophecy with a profound understanding of God's hidden secrets, and if I possessed unending supernatural knowledge, and if I had the greatest gift of faith that could move mountains, we just talked about this, that we want to see greater things, that we want to do the things that Jesus did, and that we have great, bold faith. But right here, Paul says, even if I have the gift of faith that would move a mountain, but have never learned to love, then I am nothing. Then it doesn't mean anything. If you can heal the sick, if you're not having love on it, then it means nothing. If you can walk on water, but you don't have love, it's nothing. This is where it comes down to. You have to have love, regardless of how people treat you, regardless of your circumstance, regardless of what's going on around you. It's up to you whether you get to choose. I had to tell myself this week, I choose love. I have to. It's not just something that you put on a t-shirt. It's not just a gimmick. It's not just something that we just make a really cool graphic and post it on our Facebook. No, it is something that we literally have to choose every day. I had to choose to love. Even if I was angry, even if somebody made me so stinking mad, I still had to put on love and go, you know what? I don't want to let the anger and the hatred and the all these, you know, I don't want it to poison me. And instead, I want love to come in. Because when love comes in, when I choose to love, I'm telling you, there is something that lifts and you walk lighter. You don't walk so heavy and broken down. And you don't, when you walk in and you're able to just release love, I'm telling you, it changes everyone's attitude in the room. Like, this is how powerful we are, is that we carry something inside of us and we walk into a room, you're releasing that. So what are you releasing? Are you releasing bitterness? Are you releasing suspicion? Are you releasing anger? What are you releasing? I want to be releasing love every chance that I get. I want to be releasing joy and peace. I want to be releasing those things that make a person's day so much better. I don't want to go into a room and make a person's day worse. And yes, I'm not perfect. If my husband is still watching, he can attest to that. That sometimes I'll walk into the room and just because I've allowed the day to just beat me up and I take it out on him and I'm sorry. But instead, I would rather just being able to go, you know what? I'm going to forgive and forget all the things that happened, the things that didn't work out. They were out of my favorite kind of cereal, and they still don't have toilet paper, and they still don't, they're not letting us go to school, and I'm pulling my hair out because the kids won't leave me alone and they want to be in every room that I am in. Not my kids, I'm talking like in general. My kids actually enjoy like spreading out all across the room, all across the house. But then there's moments where we all do come together. But I'm trying, I understand those, we have to go, okay, even if all of this is weighing on me, I still get to choose love. I still get to choose peace. I still get to choose joy. It's important and it's imperative for us that this is a time that we rise and shine because the glory of the Lord is upon you. There's darkness all over. I don't want to contribute to that. I refuse to contribute to any of that. I instead choose to shine love. I'm going to shine peace. I'm going to shine his joy. I'm going to shine his healing. I'm going to shine his good works. I'm going to shine him. Because if I say that I believe in him and I say that I am living in him and I say that he is living in me and then I'm going to walk that out. I'm going to talk that out. I'm going to live that out. And it's a choice. It is a choice. And you can do it. I promise you, if I can do it, dear Jesus, you could do it. And no, it's not easy. In fact, most days, I won't say most days. There are days where I just want to be mad. I just want to be depressed. I just want to just give in to my feelings. And I want to let them take over because I don't want to keep fighting. But you know what? We have to fight. We have to fight. You are stronger than you think you are. Read 1 John. I'm telling you, it is filled. Can we read that again? Let's go to 1 John. We are strong. It says here in 5:5, 1 John 5, verse 5, who is he who overcomes the world? But he who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. Like, you have overcome the world simply because you believe that Jesus is who he says he is. So you are an overcomer. Like, it's not just a song. It's an awesome song. But like, because you believe in who you believe in, because you believe in Jesus and who he is, you've already overcome the world. So nothing by any means shall harm you. 1 John 5:18, we know that whoever is born of God does not sin, but he who has been born of God keeps himself, and the wicked one does not touch him. Like, when you get a revelation of who you are and who you belong to and who you believe in and who abides in you and you're abiding in him, then nothing can stop you. No pain, no ache, no sickness, no disease, no disability, no circumstance, financial whatevers, like nothing. Remember who you are. Remember who you belong to. Remember that you carry his love and he loves you so, so very much. I just only read like the first 2 verses of chapter 13, didn't I? If I had the greatest gift of faith that could move mountains, but I've never learned to love, I am nothing. I'm going to skip over to verse 4. Love is large and incredibly patient. Love is gentle and consistently kind to all. Love is gentle, catch this word, and consistently kind to all. Okay? Consistent. It refuses to be jealous when blessing comes to someone else. Love does not brag about one's achievements nor inflate its own importance. Love does not traffic in shame and disrespect, nor selfishly seek its own honor. Love is not easily irritated or quick to take offense. Instead, love joyfully celebrates honesty and finds no delight in what is wrong. Love is a safe place of shelter, for it never stops believing the best for others. Yes, I want to believe that people are good. And if they prove that they aren't, that's on them. It's not because I didn't believe in them. Love never takes failure as defeat, for it never gives up. My favorite verse, verse 8, love never stops loving. It's as simple as that. It just never stops. There's a book written by Danny Silk. It's called Keep Your Love On. And I love that phrase because we need to learn that. We need to learn that it's not a switch that you just shut down whenever you don't feel like it, but you have to keep it on. And you have to remember who you are. You have to remember how great his love for you is. And then just release that over everyone that you encounter, whether they deserve it or not, whether they've treated you kindly or not, whether they've spoken mean things about you, whether they have whatever they've done to you. And I can only imagine some of the things that some of you have been through and some of the things and hurts that you've experienced. My heart breaks that you've had to go through that. But more than anything, I want you to know the love of God that removes all of that, that he can literally wash away every hurt and every pain, because I've seen him do it in my own life and he's still doing it. Like, there are still people who say cruel things and they don't even realize that they're doing that. And I have two choices. I can either let it fester and build a bridge between my relationship with that person, those people, whatever, or I can, go, you know what? I'm going to pray for them, because when I pray for them, I experience the love of God for them, and I can forgive them, and I can release that over them, and I can choose to say, you know what? I'm going to keep my love on. I'm not going to let that thing, I'm not going to let those people, that person, I'm not going to let what happened to me keep me from him. Lord, I thank you so much for your word. I thank you for your love. I thank you that your love is even being felt right now all across Facebook land, YouTube. I know that people are feeling your love right now so strongly. And I know that sometimes it's hard to release and let go of the pain because it feels like strength. But I'm telling you, if you release the pain, let his love wash over you, because he wants to come in. And I see some of you holding on to the hurt because it has become your safe place. But the Lord wants to break that off, because there's so much more for you. And if you release that hurt, if you'll let go of it, if you'll drop it, if you'll break open those fences that you've put up, those barriers, and you let his love in, I'm telling you, he is going to knock your socks off, and it is better than you could ever imagine. I promise. Lord, I thank you that you've done that in my life, and I release it right now to everyone who is watching. Lord, I thank you that your love is breaking through. I thank you that your love is breaking through, even in tiny little cracks. I thank you that your love is breaking through, and I release your goodness over the people today. I thank you for your word. I thank you that you are always speaking to us, and you are always releasing your love and truth to us. Lord, let our ears hear and our hearts receive what you have for us today. Let us walk in a manner worthy of our calling, worthy of who we are. Let us walk how you walked. Let us talk how you talked. Let us love like you loved. Lord, we thank you that you abide in us today. And I thank you so much for your goodness. I bless the people. I strongly this is a little bit unusual, but I'm gonna encourage any of you who are struggling with this particular subject. If you'll message me, you can do that here on the Worldwide Impact David Hogan page, and I can see that. But I want to pray with you. You can even go to my personal account, Noemi Royer, and you can message me. I want to pray with you. I've been where you've been, and I feel the Lord really just like pushing me towards that. So I'm just gonna let you know that you can message me if that's you, and I want to pray with you today personally, or you can email me, noemi@springfirst.org, and just know that you have people on your side who are fighting for you. I know it doesn't feel like it sometimes because the enemy wants to keep lying to you, but we're on your side. We are for you. This is why we're here. This is why this ministry exists, is because we want to encourage you. We want to set you free. We want to release his truth and his word and his life over you and over your families. And we want to watch you shine so brightly. I think it's so exciting because, again, we're in the greatest moment in history right now, and we're living it out, and we get to be a part of it. So, hey, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for spending an hour letting me share my heart, sharing his heart with you. I want to give you an opportunity to share the broadcast and to partner with the ministry. If you feel so led to bless the ministry, you can do that at #donate in the comments, or you can click the link in the title once that goes up. But yeah, thank you for giving. Thank you for believing in us. You have no idea how much it means to us that you would watch us daily, and that you would be here and, partner with us. And I think of all the things that we've done, all the Light the Night crusades, and going to Zambia, and, building the studio. There's so much more that the Lord has in store for us in this ministry. And I'm telling you, greater things are coming. There's a lot of new things on the horizon, and you get to be a part of it just by simply giving to the Lord. And we thank you so much for that. Would you mind scrolling? So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. And I love you guys. And I believe, tonight we will be having service at Spring First Church, and we invite you to join us. We're following the guidelines as far as social distancing. You can sit in the sanctuary 6 feet apart from people, but you are more than welcome to join us tonight at 7 o'clock, or watch us at the Spring First page. And we're gonna worship Jesus. It's a good day. Today is a really, really good day. Be blessed. Thank you again, and I will see you next time. Join us again tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and we're gonna have just another great teaching moment. All right, I'm out. See you guys.
Well, that's great. You're trusting God. Can God trust you?
God wants to do it in you. You're not too old, you're not too young.
You understand the power and authority that you have at your fingertips?
He will He will not leave or forsake you. Like that's His word. It's His promise.
You're going to be burned. You're going to be carrying the fire, and it will repel every attack of the enemy.